Hello, everybody, welcome. We're doing some impromptu streams for Tales from the Loop, our Tales from the Loop game. And we've been doing Tales from the Loop for a couple of sessions. It's a new game to IMT, it's a new game to some of our players. It's also new entirely, an entirely new experience. Look at this cup. That could have been funny. Look at this. Look at this. It's actually the best piece of IMT merch that we have. It's the most robust anyway. It's the only one that hasn't faded and cracked. Yeah, so we're looking at the characters that we've made, and my idea was to actually go through some of the character creation that we did and take notes against the characters that are in Roll20. So we use the Roll20 module for Tales from the Loop, and from that we get the rolls and we get the sheets and such, but we also get a lot of space to store stuff. It makes sense to keep it there. I'm looking up at chat up there, and I know it's not chat, that's my VR chat. So for those that don't know me, I'm also a VR streamer on my own channel doing virtual reality content, but I am also one of the founding members of Infinite Monkey Tales. We started streaming tabletop role-playing games on my channel originally, and then we split it off and created Infinite Monkey Tales, which is growing from strength to strength. We're currently listening to music from Streamtastical Tunes. He's also one of the founding members. Side projects, or I'm not sure if it's become a main project now. It might be Meemaw, the Geeky Granny. Meemaw is a streamer on her channel and also runs Streamtastical Tunes as well, which gives us copyright-free music. I'm going to have to start using this on Wednesdays. It's nice piano music. Hopefully get away from Pretzel doing meetings and stuff. Hey Ange, how's it going? Hey. Hey Incantrix, how's it going? Or Trixie. Yeah, so we're doing a bit of impromptu streaming, partly because I'm on strike and I'm not at work today, so I thought I would put this time to good use. I'm not quite sure how this is going to work. I just want to watch this stuff, and then I want to jump into Roll20. So I think that'll be okay. Don't worry, Ange. I didn't even announce this stream. I didn't even put a time on it. Nobody knew, but well, I mentioned it. I didn't say when I was going to do it, so don't worry. Oh, there you go. Thanks, Gadari. Yeah. So, this is the idea. I'm going to do a little bit of watching and a little bit of thinking and then a little bit of writing and just type up some notes. What I want to do is have fleshed out bios for each of the characters that I can refer to during the one-shots, the kind of campaign, short campaign, one-shots. I mean, inevitably there's going to be connections, but yeah, I want to have it all in Roll20 so the players can see it as well, so they can be reminded too. Stalking Kadari is fine. Somebody's got to stalk the stalkers. Somebody has to stalk the stalking stalkers. We'll see what happens. I'm glad you know each other. Anyway, so yeah, I'm going to stop. I think I'll stop the music just now. I can't remember if Lloyd put music under this, or I might just drop it down a bit. Can I change tabs? Yeah, there we go. This is Streamtastical Tunes. Maybe I could turn it down a tad. It's already super low. If there is music in the background, then we can use that. Okay, so let's give this a shot and see how it works. This is me. I've spooled it forward to the start of the show. If you didn't see this show, it was broadcast on 25 days ago. Is that right? I can't remember the exact date, but it's still available as a VOD on our Twitch channel, and then it will be made available on our YouTube channel as well. So you'll be able to find it there. I think a lot of friendships work that way. You know? People just latch onto each other, right? That's great. I mean, you don't have to put up an entry on a website with your details and then somebody selects you like a toy in the catalogue. That would be sad. Although, saying that, quite sure a lot of my friends who are in relationships or have children probably met in just that way. So maybe it's me that's outdated. I move with the times. I met my wife in a nightclub, like the old-fashioned way. Anyway, right. Isn't that how streaming works? Yeah, but it's like organic. You don't give across your whole life in a one shot. I mean, you kind of you let that slowly, organically happen as people get to know you. Anyway, like total divergence. Let's play this thing and see if this works. That we do a little bit of session 0, and we look at the characters, the character creation stuff, creating your kid in the Tales from the Loop. Right, so that's all incredibly interesting. I think, to be fair, we're trying to waffle our way through this because we didn't know the game. I think that's part of the issue. Slightly younger Croy. Yes. I don't know how much waffling I did. Look at an alternate landscapes that isn't that right, Simul Pirate?
Well, I wouldn't like to say because there's already been some comments on the Discord from somebody who won't be mentioned. But I think I'll have to have words, maybe a bit.
I'll give you a quick idea of. We still have trucks. We still have high energy. This is talking about the setting. Hills. Right. This is talking about the setting. The setting, for those that don't know it, no, it just isn't. The lawyers will be in touch. The setting I put in the Borders, which is a part of Scotland, south, just very close to the English border. In fact, it's called the Borders because it pretty much is the entirety of the border, right along against Northumberland and Cumbria in England. And there's quite a lot of hills, and there's quite a lot of valleys. There's also quite a lot of empty space in that big circle. So that's where the loop is, that red circle, just in north of England. But what I'm interested in here are the characters. If you want to find out a bit more about the world, please do ask any questions. And from that, you can, I'll tell you whatever you want to know about the setting, within reason, because I'm not giving any clues away for players who might be here, Russ. So yeah, let's get to the bit where characters are. And it's a big expanse of emptiness.
Yeah, I think I'm okay. I don't think I need any further details.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Good so far.
Yeah.
We just done tonight, and it may be that we want to change things. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what is the name? What character? What's your character called?
I have chosen the name of Martin Pereira.
Okay. So how old is Martin? This is Simul Pirate's character. Obviously, he's talking there, and he has Martin Pereira, who's this character here. Tales from Scotland. This is Martin Pereira here. So this is Mark's character. He's got his age in. He's a bookworm. Okay, so let's find out a bit more about Martin.
Martin is 13 years old.
Okay. Okay, what I'm just quickly going to do is jump out of here and stop Streamtastical Tunes. Only, not because it's not nice music, it's lovely music, it's just that there is actually music in here, so it's conflicting.
Yeah, I figure he's actually not a native of Scotland and that he's come from Well, I think I decided that his parents, they both are like particle physicists. They've
Okay. He's not a native of Scotland. His parents are particle physicists.
moved around the
And
world
then,
doing
where have they come
their
from?
various different research jobs.
All around the world.
And
Okay. Let's see. What have we got in here? Notes. Okay. Bio and info. Edit. So what I was going to do was stick a whole bunch of stuff in here. Parents, a particle, physicists. Physicists? Is that the right spelling? Anyway, we'll worry about that after. Parents are working at the loop. And that means they're pretty intelligent. That means they've been around the world and they've come from partial physicists. Yeah. They only exist. They only form a whole person when they stand next to each other. They've been working around the world, and are not originally from Scotland. Okay. All right.
for whatever reason, they've ended up here in Scotland with the
For whatever reason.
at the Scottish loop here.
Yeah, that's the reason.
Okay.
Premier
When is his
science
birthday?
happening.
Ooh, you see, that was one of the things I hadn't thought because there's no way to write it on the sheet, was there?
If you stick it
So
into,
I will
whatever.
randomly choose. What's today's date?
We will start on
You really don't know. Good thing
No, you
today's
don't
not
have to tell
Valentine's
me.
Day.
the
Yeah.
1st of July. Or we will
Okay.
start on the 1st of July in the game.
I was thinking more of like today's date being the 5th of Feb. That's interesting. That's exactly when Martin's birthday is.
Right, so did we get Martin's birthday in? That's a question. Let's save this. Character sheet. Birthday, 5th of Feb. Right, excellent. Okay, that's good.
Strange that. Anyway,
God damn it.
yeah,
Okay, right then.
you wanted that, didn't you?
No, I already picked one out of the air because I just, used my imagination.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, congratulations.
It's all good.
So does
With
that
that-
mean he just turned 13?
No, because it's July in the game, so he's
So,
he's been 13 for a few months now.
A few
13
months,
and a half.
Yeah,
Got it.
yeah. Bless him. Bless him.
So yeah, now that obviously at 13, the way that the game works is that you get either
Right, we need
luck,
to
you
know
get more
about the
luck
really-
points if you're younger, but you get more
still work. How does
attribute
that work?
points if you're older.
Yeah.
So
see it'll fast forward.
your age is 13, and you have
So I have 2 luck points. Yeah.
yeah, and you
I'm
have but
13.
you also have 13 attribute points. Have you had a thought
do.
about where they might go?
You know what? I have. I so have. So
Hey,
I
Pirate,
have a
how you
body
doing?
of 2. I decided he's quite a small kid for his age.
You've been nice. Yeah,
Which probably makes
interesting
him look a
that,
bit
how that
younger
works in
than he
Cancer.
actually is.
Yeah.
But he's pretty tech savvy. He has a 4 in tech.
Yeah.
Not so sure about the kind of the emotional aspects of him when they. So I put his heart at 3. But he's going to be smart. He's going to be smart because he wants to be like Dad, and so he's got a mind of 4.
Okay, so this issue has come up a couple of times in the game, that Martin's got this. He needs to impress his parents. He wants to impress his parents. Now I'm going to write this down, and then we'll tidy it up. And so pursues. Prefers scholarly pursuits. Please correct my spelling as I go. Hey Velo, how's it going? Good morning to you. No, I just wanted to take the time to go over the characters as you've talked about them, and I wanted to just take notes a bit more detailed to help me primarily to flesh out bits of the story where I need to make callbacks into and some of the NPC creation as well. I realised that we had it all in video, but I hadn't taken notes at the time because I knew it was in video and I had intended to watch it back. And by watching it back, it now means I'm able to do it, and I might as well stream it because I'm off work and I'm not streaming otherwise. How's it going anyway? Should be in bed. So yeah. Aye, well, it seemed like sensible. Plus, then we get the. If anybody says, "Why did you write that down on my sheet?" I can go, "Well, I thought that's what you said." And anyway, it's hopefully going to be so far
okay.
it's good.
Okay, I'm gonna just quickly add Martin to Lloyd. So if you want Lloyd, you could bring that up on stream as well. Okay, so
I can't see the
Martin.
sheet at the-
All right, hang on. Maybe need to help you. Don't worry about it. We'll get that for later during the break. If you get a refresh, I'll probably show
Yeah,
up.
well, once they're all filled in, I'll make images.
Yeah.
We can put up.
Oh, Velo. Sorry to hear
Okay,
that.
so yeah, Martin is
Oh, that's not
a
good.
bit of a clever kid.
Yeah.
He kind of respects his family, his any. Yeah.
Yeah, yes, I think he definitely does. One of his drives, or his drive is, I want to be as smart as my dad.
Yeah.
Or Mr. Boyd, my science teacher.
Okay.
Ah, Mr. Boyd, an NPC. I definitely missed Mr. Boyd. And he respects his parents, which I think is important in terms of the relationship. Let's put a thing in for NPCs here. Mr. Boyd, science teacher. There we go. Martin also looks up to. Okay. Beat Saber. Oh no, Velo. Oh dear. Are you okay sitting down, or is it one of these ones where you can't sit down for longer and then you have to stand up, and you can't stand up for longer, so you have to sit down? Those things are difficult. Your stuff may have changed. Well, I tell you what I'll do. I'll take it down as was written, and then if you want to nip in and make any edits to things, then do. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, that's core. You'll need to work on your. Is it your lower back? Is it your lower back? You'll need to start working on your core muscle strength. That's what they always say when you get low back. Yeah, it's core body strength. You need to strengthen enough to avoid that becoming a habitual issue. Don't overdo anything. But once you get better and once you get up, then definitely that's what I would get told. My sister's a physio, so I get to hear a lot about it, which is good. Yeah, you're not exactly, and this is how it becomes. This is how it comes off. If you don't move when you've got back issues, then you seize up and it gets worse. So you have to do a little bit, but not too much, so it hurts, and don't work through pain. That's the other thing my sister-in-law always tells me. Don't work through pain. Stop before it hurts. So that's good. Right. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now there are lots of other things that we can do, but before we move on to them for your character, we'll jump on to the next player. Who would like to go next? Any volunteers?
I'll go next.
Velo, cool. Right. So,
Yeah,
who
Velo, this is
is
Jamie.
your character? What's their name?
My character is Jamie Ryan. She's
That's not
also
Velo.
13.
Excellent. So they're at school together.
She is from California and is here because her aunt.
I just realised I just realised that our cameras aren't in the right order in this production. I never noticed that at the time, but I wasn't watching the stream. I was watching chat, probably. I'm sure Lloyd fixes this as it goes. He's pretty sharp. Lloyd was doing production on this one, and he's good at production, so I'm not sure he would have let that last for very long. I wouldn't expect to see a repeat of it. He's probably furiously look at his face there. He's probably like, "Oh no, what have I done? Let's go. Let's get it fixed." Excellent. Easy done. Right. So we've got Jamie happening.
Worked as a scientist here. And her mother wants to be closer to her sister, so that's why we moved.
Hang on.
my
I'm
parents-
going to slow it down here.
His drive is, I want to be as smart as my dad.
Yeah.
Um,
There's a plastics factory. People who don't work at the loop. Well, those.
My parents are always. I'll go next.
Okay. Velo, cool. Right. So, well, who is your character? What's their name?
My character is Jamie Ryan. She's also 13.
Excellent. So they're at school together.
She is from California and is here because her aunt works as a scientist here.
Right. There's something I missed, and it was such an obvious thing, but actually it wasn't in my head, so that's why I know I missed it. And it kind of goes without saying, but the whole point of what I'm trying to do is to make sure that I don't miss things, and this is why we're going through it, because these little details make quite a difference. The ant, the crazy ant. It's not the crazy ant. Sorry, that's Carol's crazy ant. You've said there that it's your family that brought you over, right? So, goes to school. I mean, that goes without saying that you go to school with the other 13-year-olds. There's a whole bunch of ants. Yeah, I need to get them. It's clear in my head. Goes to school with the others, but there's a year's gap between the group. Try to think. Well, you'll actually be going into high school. Is that right? Yeah, you go into high school when you're 13. But that would have been the last year of your primary school in Scotland. This is the first year. No, this is the year that you move up into secondary school. So secondary school in Scotland is like high school. You do primary school first and then secondary. And at secondary school you begin to specialise a bit more once you hit about 14, 15, 16, that kind of. You pick your subjects and then you do exams on specific subjects. So you've got all that to look forward to. So after the summer holiday, you're going to be in high school. I think that's right. I never thought of that. So you'll be in different schools. Interesting. Okay. Hey Bong, how's it going? Scorpio, how's it going? Welcome. Yeah, just doing a little bit of a catch up on the Saturday game. I was going to use some of the time to do prep. I normally do this on a Thursday evening, but since I've got some time off, I'll do it there. But it's quite a lot to do as well. Just for this is a one-off because we started a new campaign with new characters, and I need to learn the characters. So I'm just kind of going over this and doing it as a wee stream as well. Bong, how you doing? Welcome. You had to do 5th year again. That sucks. You you probably found it relatively easy. Okay, so we're going into the school, and then let's just wind that back a bit. Excellent. So they're at school together.
She is from California and is here because her aunt works as a scientist here. And her mother wants to be closer to her sister, so that's why we moved.
Okay. The aunt works, current tense, works as at the loop. Okay. Okay. Aunt works at the loop. Scottish fifth year is the same as English lower sixth. Yeah. So yeah, the age. It was the age that made the difference, wasn't it? Yeah. Scotland has a different education system from England, and they have similarities, but yeah, they are their own legal entities. They're completely separate. Work and works at the loop. Mum wanted to get closer to her sister. So there's obviously a strong bond between her sister and her aunt. That's interesting. I mean, that's implicit, isn't it? That's interesting. Yeah, I'm just trying to think through some things that might get us some interesting
My
relationships.
parents are always fighting with each other.
Uh-oh.
So my drive is to look after my little sister because they tend to get a little caught up in their own stuff and forget about her.
Yeah, so we know that we've covered this a bit in the actual sheet that looking after the sister, but parents are always arguing. I'm just going to write that down. With each other, and Jamie gets ignored, as does Jamie's sister. I don't think we've got names for these NPCs yet. So that's it. We've got the two parents. They're together, but unhappily. So, are they unhappy, or do they just enjoy shouting at each other? Yeah, I mean that's the possibility, right? Some people just enjoy shouting. You know, then okay, that's cool. There's no rush for that. You missed the loop stream. Ah, bong. Okay. All right. So the subjects that you got to do were pretty much just. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So but it's just because the numbers are different. Yeah. Yeah. So I think this is if I'm right in saying that, I need to double check that Scottish schools. You switch to the secondary around about the age of these guys, but because some of them are a year younger, that would keep them. That could be interesting, because some of you are going to get troubles from high school kids, but the other two aren't. That could be interesting. Hanging about with primary sevens. That means that you're hanging about with kids from younger schools. Goes to school others as year captain in the group. And works at the loop. Yep. Okay. Excellent.
I am a rocker. My pride is playing my guitar.
Excellent.
And my favorite band is Joan Jett and the Blackhearts.
Joan Jett and the Blackhearts.
All right. Now, there are places in the area that can employ people who don't work at the Loop. Although the Loop is the biggest employer, there is a tools, machining company that
there we go.
there's a plastics factory And then in the neighbouring town, there is an
Hey Nick,
electronics
how's it going?
factory. So if you're ever looking to flesh it out,
What did you call them?
all right. Now there's a plastics factory, and then in the neighbouring town there is an electronics factory. So if you're ever looking to flesh it out, employment is available in the area that isn't necessarily at the loop. But there's also textiles as well in one of the neighbouring towns. So it could, yeah, if they're not directly employed at the loop, then there's plenty of opportunities.
I'm moving the wrong
It's,
chat.
quite a big business.
Okay, this one. Secondary school started about 11, 12, yeah. I need to double check the age because I can't remember exactly. It's just about there. That's somewhere in there. So you may be all in high school, which should be kind of interesting as well, but also quite interesting if you're not. So either way, we can make it work. Yeah, there's an upstreamer. Yeah, for sure, Bong. You know it.
Surrounding the loop. When is Jamie's birthday?
September 18th.
Right, that's important. Let's just quickly double check that that's been put in somewhere, just because it actually does change the way the game works. Yeah, there we go. Birthday September 18th. Oh, there's the name as well, Kayla. So well done, aye. Cheers for that. Keltronics, yep. Excellent. Good notes. Good to see. Notes been taken. You can go in and tidy these notes up once I've written them. I don't really mind if, you know, how they're written, as long as it has a good amount of detail. I don't want it to lose any detail. If it gains detail, that's great. If it gets tidied up and the detail gets changed, that's fine. But I don't want anything removed or edited from that, just so that there's enough there to help the prep for the mysteries that we're going to run. Cool, right, so that's all in there.
Excellent. If you could write that into your notes. There isn't a... That's the one thing.
Hey, Bong, thanks very much for the gifted sub.
Excellent. 18. Okay, it's not that
Strain,
far away
hi,
then.
how are you?
We're
How's it going?
Starting the 1st of July.
How goes farming?
Interesting. And in terms
I'm
of
talking
the
over myself
tributes,
here.
Did you have a thought about where these are going to go? I see on your sheet that you filled them out. Is that what you're going to go with?
I think the skills we get 5 points total.
So in terms of the tributes, yes, you can put them equal to
Time travel. It's amazing stuff. Just invented it. I was out for a walk. An acorn fell off the tree, landed on my head. I looked at it, and then I realised that within my mind there was the power for time travel. It was just amazing. So I walked back again, and this time, rather than getting hit on the head by the acorn, I just dodged it. It's amazing. It's astounding. I don't know how it happened, but there we go. I now be in 2 places at once. This is fantastic. Woohoo! There's far too many. Thank you for the gifted sub, Bong. Yeah, cool. So at this point, we were very new to the game, and I had, despite having read the instructions and the rules several times, going on stream and trying to remember all the stuff, and it just goes out of my head. But I think we're getting the hang of the rules a little bit now, having played 1.5 games, which is interesting.
Your age.
Okay, so I have that.
Yeah, and then below that, you've then got skill points, and these have extra abilities. You can have 10 points distributed amongst your skills, but you can only take up to level 3 in the 3 key skills of your type. And for other skills, a starting skill level of 1 is the maximum. So depending on what type you've chosen, you should have already been identified the 3 skills that are given, and then for any other one, you can only go up 1 point in those. So this corresponds to how many dice you can roll whenever you try to overcome some particular trouble. And we'll go into a bit more about we'll probably just do it, and then we'll probably get it a little bit wrong, and then we'll worry about that. We'll worry about that afterwards. We'll have a think about how it works, and then next time we play, we'll be a little bit wiser in hindsight. So I'm quite happy with that. That's a good way to roll. But so don't worry about that. But it's there. You have the 10 points you can distribute on your skills, and this is probably a good point to introduce those skills as well, just to say
Where can I go?
that they're not dissimilar to other games that you may have played. We've got sneak, force, move,
just realised
tinker, program, calculate, contact,
I'm going to be
charm,
over
lead,
somebody somewhere.
investigate, comprehend, and empathise.
I need to press a button that removes
So
me
if you
from
go
the
into,
frame
if
when this
anybody in
happens,
game
right.
wants to have a look at those, you
Apologies
can
to Russ
click on
and
the grey circle with the white
Hello
eye
for-
in game, and that'll
Right.
bring up the compendium.
Right, this is all just rules stuff. I don't want to look at the rules stuff. I want to look at the character stuff. So we can pause that. Cover my own camera frame, yeah, that'll confuse. I know. It's. I thought I'd practice with something easy first, just to make sure that it works. Yeah, it looks good. I didn't twig, to be fair, so that's good that we got that. That's nice. Nice touch. Well done. Got the jacket and the hair and everything. Yeah, it sets the scene well. Nice one. Cool. That is good. Yeah, it works well. So we're talking about rules here. Rules,
From that,
meh.
you can get access to the rules. In
Rules,
there. Or if
rules.
you have the PDF,
No,
or
come on.
indeed if you have the manual. I think Mark has the manual. You've got the book for this one, haven't you, Mark?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go.
No,
So it's
no,
there.
no, come on.
I'm looking at
Crack on.
creating your kid text in a moment. So have a think about where you want those points if you haven't already. It looks like they're in. So do you want to say a little bit about the skills of Jamie?
So, having to look after her sister, I think she has really good empathy for people. Definitely a lot of charm and heart because she is a musician. So, she's working on her stage presence.
Working on her stage presence. Now, that is. Yeah, that's quite interesting. As charm and heart, you said, looks after people, but particularly her sister, which we know because you've mentioned that on your sheet. I like this. I like this idea of you're working on your stage presence. I suppose I should write that in the first person. Anyway, it's fine. Has charm and heart, looks after people, but particularly her little sister. Okay. Okay.
And I think also some
Hey,
good
Jonathan, how you
body
doing?
skills.
Welcome, welcome. Yeah, we're just doing a very brief stream here. It's a bit ad hoc, off the normal calendar of our streams, but looking at the characters that we did in Tales from the Loop. And there was quite a lot of improv and there was quite a lot of detail that was kind of dropped just in little side comments. And really, the characters are driving Tales from the Loop. So I wanted to make sure that we captured enough so that I can factor that into the actual mysteries that we're going to be doing. And also then it can be prompts for bits of RP. And the Tales from the Loop system is interesting because it deals with scenes and it cuts out all of the middle stuff that often happens in role-playing games. The corridor walks, the overland walks, all of that stuff. It's like a TV show. You just cut from one scene. I'm probably teaching you to suck eggs at this point, but you know, it's unusual. I've never played a system like it. The closest I got to it was Fiasco, which was a bit more kind of like a tabletop role-playing board game. But this system that we have really benefits individual scenes, and the players drive those scenes. They decide what that scene's going to be. It's not up to me. it's up to the players to pick what their scenes are and how do they get across their character and how does it relate to the mysteries. So it kind of flows from a direction perspective, a bit like a TV series. So it's interesting stuff. Hope you have a good day at work. I hope you have a good day. I hope your thoughts are your own whilst you're working and you're able to come up with a whole bunch of crazy new projects. I have faith in you. You will confound us again and again. Let's go.
Because she wants to be able to move around on stage when she gets famous.
Okay. Yep. You've got a couple more points. You can add one more. You can add a single.
Dreams
point
of being
to-
famous.
Has really good empathy for people.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot of charm and heart because
Yeah.
she is a musician, so she's working on her stage presence. And I think also some good body skills because she wants to be able to move around on stage when she gets famous.
Okay. Yep. You've got a couple more points. You can add one more. You can add.
So there we go. Put myself in the middle. Dreams of being famous. Dreams of being famous. This concept of being up on stage and having an audience appeals greatly. Oh, Things from the Flood. Yes, that'd be our next one. At least I can kill characters. I mean, at least then there is a natural life cycle available to deal with in the game. The plot armor of these guys is real in this game. But there are nasty things that can happen to them. Now I'm right in the middle of what I'm typing. I need to think about this. This is all in the presentation, isn't it? Look at that. Shing. All in the presentation. Dreams of being famous. I like that. Okay, that gives me some ideas.
A single point to one of the ones that you don't already have if they're not part of your rocker type. But I'll leave you with that just now, and we can move on and find out a little bit more about one of our other characters. Who have we got left?
go
We've got
next.
Russ. Russ is next. Excellent, Russ.
Hi.
Okay.
I'm going to be playing Caroline Williams. She's Australian. Her mother was from Scotland, but was married an Australian guy, and then got a job working for the Loop again, and moved back to Scotland. She's probably not super thrilled about.
Right. So Carol's mum works for the Loop. Is Scottish, married an Australian guy. Right. Let's get that down. So we'll save that. That's Jamie saved. And we'll look at Caro now. Abrash Kampachi. Hello. Welcome, Kampachi. Hope you are doing well. We are looking at Tales from the Loop, which you know, but I'm doing a bit of a review from a GM session, and then I am literally just going through and taking notes. So there won't be any reveal of the weekend's mystery for the players. It is just retrospective and having a look there. Yeah, Caro's younger, so that age. Oldest sister, date by 7 October. Right, let's go into edit mode here. Dad worked odd jobs. Okay. So mum is Scottish. Married an Australian. And moved back to Scotland with the family. Typing much with the family to work on the Loop or at the Loop. Okay.
Dad works odd jobs. There's a lot of call for that. There's a lot of people in the area, so a lot of things need done, property maintenance, and it's her mum's sister in the basement. Okay.
About the move, but she's just kind of had to roll with it. Because left a lot of stuff behind, I guess.
Oh, you see, these are the little details that I miss. This is why this is so good. There's so many nice little nuggets of things that you've said, all of you, that I just didn't quite pick up on. Left a whole bunch of things behind. Oh, I like that. So you said making the most of it. Left a lot of possessions, I guess. That's particularly back in Australia, probably in storage, right? Or a family's house, or storage, family house, whatever. Or you gave some away, or I don't know. Yeah. So you travelled relatively light. Excellent. That's interesting. Exactly, Bong. Exactly. Yes. Hey, nice one. Have a good day at work. Jonathan, have a good day. We'll catch you again very soon on Discord. Also likes friends and pets. And it's her mum's sister in the basement. Yeah, okay. So it's a Scottish... well, yeah, mum's sister in the basement. I think we discussed this as well. Because you've got a basement, you actually live in quite a posh part of town, because not a lot of houses are built with basements. But friends and pets... Okay, yeah. Okay. Also left friends and family and pets. Okay. Or cellar, yeah, that's true. Cellars. Cellars were used for storage, for coal. They were generally, because the setting is on a terrace. A lot of the houses are based in the valley, and there's very steep sides on both sides of the valley. So a lot of houses are terraced. So they were built with foundations underneath them, and they were turned into storage and other spaces. So a lot of the houses that are in the valley, the older houses, have a basement or a cellar just by structural integrity. And the houses that are up top, they're all relatively new. And building houses with basements is quite an expensive thing to do, because you have to dig out the ground, etc. So typically the lower rent areas, or the lower house priced areas, wouldn't have basements, but the more expensive houses did. So that was my rationale for thinking that maybe one of the newer houses, which then would probably suggest that Carol's mum is pretty well paid in the loop. Either that or live in one of the old places. I know, I'm familiar with that word, bogan. It's also it's funny because it kind of translates to Scots as well. If something's bogan, it's not very nice, smelly, stinky, unpleasant. That kind of matches a similar meaning for that word. Okay, so my thinking here is either, what do you want it to be? Do you want it to be an old house in the valley, or do you want it to be a new house atop the valley? Yes, uncouth. Yeah, I like Ned, or Anyway, I know what you mean. I've heard that. So, what do you think, Russ? Is it going to be? Since you're here, I'll put you on the spot. Is it an old house on the side of the valley, or is it a new house atop the valley with a basement, and therefore quite an expensive house with a basement? Older house. Okay, so lives in an older house, and the same for anybody else, for Velo and for some old pirate. If you want to, I think you have had to think about the house. I know later on we talk a bit about that, don't we? We do cover that, but I don't know that we ever got there with Caro. So lives in an older house on the side of the valley, with an old converted cellar. Excellent. More, yes, old rattly windows and that kind of stuff potentially. Right. Okay, grand. So that's something. Let me just save that before it crashes because it's Roll20. And it's browser based, and I'm pressing lots of buttons and stuff happens.
So yeah, she's 12. She has an older sister and a younger sister. Maybe I'll play them later on. I don't know. And I went with popular kid for her, kind of like archetype or kid type or whatever. So she's got a few in body, or 2 in body, 2 in tech, 5 in heart, and 3 in mind. And her birthday is the 7th of October.
All right, so right then. Older sister, so she's a middle child. Older sister who would be at school, and younger sister at primary school. Cool. Right. Okay. And we know about the stats, so I don't need to take a record of them. So that's just the stats from the game, so that's all right. Nice one. Let's see, where do we go from that? October, I'm in there. Birthday as well. Right, birthday. Yeah, cool. Okay. That leaves Bunny or Lloyd. Secondary school. 10-year-old at primary school. Okay.
I can go.
I can go next. Oh, if you want to go, Bunny.
Go for Bunny.
My character isn't as flashed out as everybody else's, but my character's name is Rune Sæter Andersen. He is Norwegian and has moved to Scotland with his mother, which I figured has either remarried and is working not directly with the loop, but somewhere that has to do with that industry. He's a troublemaker, and things aren't going very well at home.
Okay. Okay, let's save Caro and bring up Roone. 12 years old, so it's the second one of the youngest. And it's not that happy. Okay, we got date of birth in there, right? So the detail that we got there that was over and above, Roone's mother is possibly remarried, divorced, and then it was like possibly remarried, so it's still to be confirmed there by Bunny. And then that way we can look at that family situation, but not happy anyway. Let me just go back just a tad.
he's a troublemaker, and things aren't going very well at home. So he likes to be out and about and try and like stay away from home.
This concept of not liking home, being away from home, things aren't going well. There must be arguments then. I guess that would be arguments, or just possibly just being flatly ignored. This is helping me to flesh out the NPCs around your characters as well. Things aren't going well at home. And likes to spend time, as much time as possible away from the place. So not a happy. This is quite contradictory to Martin, who respects his parents and admires them, I suppose, and kind of seeks to emulate them. Roone's mother and possibly father, stepfather, maybe on the scene, boyfriend, that kind of situation makes for unhappy home place, and therefore spends a lot of time away. So there's definitely a scene in there that we can consider, isn't there? That wouldn't be altogether happy, but such is the life of the
He's 12
kids.
years old, and he drags around his skateboard everywhere.
What a good choice. What a good thing to do. I like it in such a modern time as well, with so many new car parks and so many new railings and stairs, and probably there's a bit of a skate crowd there as well, actually. So it may be that he's got some. So yeah, interesting. When is Roone's birthday?
February 2nd, have I decided.
Okay.
That was already in, so that's okay.
And he's a bit younger, just a year.
Yeah.
But talk's a good talk. Have you thought about where the attributes that he has will be placed? So you've got
think Bunny
body,
said she
tech,
hadn't at
heart,
this
and
point.
mind to distribute those initially with.
I would guess a lot of the points would go into body since he's using a skateboard a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. He might be good at tech, but I'm not entirely sure where, like, how many points should go where. Yeah, I need to look a little bit more into that.
Okay. Well, as we're going through tonight, if you go up to the grey circle with the white eye in there, and click onto that, and then at that point you can either search for something specifically, or if you go down to rules, rules will give you some of the different skills that are there, and they actually give you quite a lot of helpful information. The Roll20 module is broken up quite nicely, and you can get access to everything there, and you can also go just into kid types as well. So you said there's a troublemaker.
Yeah.
The key skills, for example, there are given as force, sneak, and lead. And I like the fact that the default picture given in the manual is the child with a hook and a bit of chain on it, swinging it around. That's
yeah.
Excellent. Described as a tough guy or girl who never holds back. The classmates are afraid of you, look up to you, the teachers hate you, and everybody is nagging you to be different.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right. So have a think about where body, tech, heart, and mind might go for Roone. And then you can't go higher than 5, and you need at least 1 in every one.
Okay.
That's an interesting point. That's an interesting point because the instructions actually give a list of things that are typical for the character archetypes, and that itself we haven't listed explicitly, but we did talk about it there with Bunny. So that's probably worth thinking about and how it applies or doesn't apply to that. So I might actually make a point of looking over them as well, but not just now because I'm really wanting to focus on the words of each of the players. So yeah, let's see what else we've got.
So yeah, we haven't dealt with luck points yet. Yeah, so you've got 12 to distribute, but you've got extra luck. I think that's how it will work, because luck is 15 minus your age. So you'll get more luck points than the older kids. And as you get older, you lose a luck point and you gain another.
You get
point there.
Yes.
I like work right today.
Yeah, we'll go into that in a bit. But yes, okay. So Lloyd, while Venus is flashing out there, what's your character called? And Where do they fit
So,
within this so far?
Alec Bateman is an American import. His parents came over as scientific advisors for the construction of the loop.
Okay, so Alex's character's is intrinsically linked with the loop. There's a big link there. Speed it up. Yeah, I mean it's going to be a long stream if I don't speed some of it up. Okay, so for Roone and I'll chat with Bunny as well. This kind of gives me an idea that there's still some questions to be asked. Roone is a troublemaker. We did talk about from the playbook. A lot of people wish that he was different. Does have some skill with tech. I don't know if we touched on that later, but I think Roone likes to go out and gather stuff. Yeah, we've got quite high mind and body here. A little bit of tech. And yeah, I think we've kind of touched on that later. Okay, right. So now we move on to Alex. Okay. McGowan. Okay. Right. 6th November. Night bomb. Yeah. Time is it? 12 o'clock already. Wow. Right. This has taken a wee while just to get this far.
So
Lots
he's
talking.
kind of a bit of a smart aleck, because he's kind of
Called, and where do they fit
So-
within this so far?
Alec Bateman is an American import. His parents came over as scientific advisors for the construction of the loop.
So that suggests that his parents. Why is that not working?
So he's kind
That suggests that his parents were actually involved with the American loop as well. With the American loop came over to advise on the creation of the Scottish loop. So they must be pretty senior. In the current loop hierarchy. Yeah. All right. American. Parents in the American loop. And they've been there for the time as well. So they've been here for quite some years. That likely means that actually Alex has been in Scotland for quite a while. I need to look back over the timeline. Quite a lot, for almost the majority of his life, I would say. So it'd only be his younger years that he wouldn't have been in Scotland for this. So that kind of puts him at ease with the area. He would feel quite comfortable. Like he would feel at home in Scotland, probably. After this time. Does he have a Scottish accent though? That's the question. Has he been there long enough to lose his early years of American accent and has now developed an interesting Scottish accent? That could be interesting, right? So jumping in,
of a bit of a smart aleck. because he's kind of had to grow up with a sort of like very regimented, sort of high parental expectations to do this sort of scientific.
So another set of high expectations being dropped, which it fits in nicely, obviously, with the fact that the parents are quite senior in the loop. So that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Upbringing.
Okay.
So
yeah.
he's kind of more I guess he uses like his brain to sort of get himself into or out of situations. So sort of focusing more on mind and then tech, not so much the body or the.
Okay.
I may rejig it depending on how those actually describe.
Yeah. All right. And in terms of date of birth, have you do you think about that?
6th of November.
Okay, I'll take that in. Bello, have a good sleep. Sleep well. And see you on Saturday for the next mystery. Get some painkillers if you haven't already, and yeah, get some painkillers, and I hope you can rest even with a back issue. Good luck getting that fixed. Yeah, that sucks. Back problems. I think with all the science that we have, we'd be able to do something about that, right? Okay. I should point out that I'm not asking this just because it's an arbitrary thing. The game does have rules. Yes, the cake is that you lose one of your luck points and you gain another attribute point. So there is a mechanical aspect to the date, and it depends. It depends how quickly the story progresses. If we see people's birthdays or not, and that's kind of coming up to what we do. What you guys
being
get
an
up
adult is so hard. So many negative luck points.
That's it. Right, so we've gone through the first stages. I'm going to go back to. I'm going to go back to Mark, to some old pirate there. You've been looking at Martin, and he seems to be getting on okay. Have you thought about where his skills are? Wide went boom there, I think. He shut the door and it's just bang. What actually counts for his skills?
Yeah, well, I've got it down as the bookworm archetype at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So he's gonna be better with the more intellectual things than the physical.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at the moment, I've got him as move because every kid wants to climb trees, right?
Oh yeah.
Of one.
He's just not good at it.
Yeah.
Items. And items can be... I'm going to skip through this.
So it could be...
and just in danger of missing some of the stuff.
He's...
So I basically... Caro hates secrets. I had that for her drive. And her pride is basically that she just wants to know everything.
The reason I'm skipping through this is because actually, if we look at the sheets, each of them, at the risk of losing some of the more detail that's kind of been put into that, if you look at the character sheets here, there's a little bit of extra stuff in terms of like the iconic item and things here. So I don't want to kind of repeat that detail. That's the sort of stuff that we've already got. So I think I'll skip through this section and just delve into various bits and see what happens.
Everything about everyone.
Okay. So again, nothing. You don't have to divulge this now. You can let it roll out in the Lloyd. Any thoughts on?
Probably the better fit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Skater that you might be. But is there a problem, a drive, and a pride that you want to share, or are you going to let that one?
I will share the drive, and I'll do anything to get away from home. And
Yeah, so the drives
Probably
really
the
are
benefit.
all kind of well done there.
So you're gonna your drive is to just be the biggest geek around, is it?
Yeah, I don't know, because I think that's something like I don't find one that quite fits my idea, so I might have to do a bit more research on like the abilities and skills and stuff. But
Sure.
yeah, I think it's a peer pressure because he could be that because of the pressure from his parents. Like, because
It is also possible to lose items. You're not allowed.
yes, Mark.
Not allowed.
We can't start as enemies, you mean? Yeah.
So we're
yeah.
all the ones that the kid. Yeah, your parents are just too busy working.
Yeah. I mean, that'd work, right?
Maybe because then
Excuse me. So there's one more bit that I want to look at before we wrap up the stream. And that's a whole bunch of questions that were asked to the group. And there was quite a lot of information there about the relationships between the group and individuals and what they do and dream about. And I missed a lot of that detail, and it didn't get recorded anywhere. So I want to look through that section. It only went on for about half an hour, so we should be able to get through it reasonably quickly.
Keep it easy. And the idea of your after-school club is a good one if everybody's up for that. And those of you that will work this out, but you can also be in the same class as well, so that you see each other.
Okay, so after school club, we didn't really touch on that again, so I'm going to write that. I'm going to take some notes now. That won't be. How will I do this? Well, I actually put it onto the. Yeah, I could put it onto each of them, couldn't I? I could just put a standard. So everybody has different reasons for being in an after-school club. Somebody it'll be the attainment of new skills, learn something, the academic pursuits. And for others like Roon, it'll just be another excuse to get out of the place. In some cases, it might just be the ability to avoid fighting. So the after school club. I've done it again. I'm pressing Control S to save the character sheets. Okay. All right. Yeah, I've got a lot more to do. Others characters. That's good. Okay. So yeah, the motivation there to actually participate in a different club is fine.
During the day.
I think Roone and Jamie would get along really well because we're both kind of like borderline troublemakers.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
And would it
I'm
be
gonna.
Okay. Yeah, it's on well with Jamie. Borderline troublemakers. Yeah. I don't know. Gets on well with borderline troublemakers. We'll see. We saw a bit of. We'll see a bit of that, I'm sure.
I'm gonna adopt Marty as my protege and take him under my wing.
So Marty.
I kind of figure that makes sense anyway, because we're both kind of.
But
Yeah. Okay. So, looks up to Alex as something of master in all things geek. This can all be changed. This is just me taking notes here. So we're in kind of rapid fire. There's Alex. Alex, Martin, Jamie, Caro. That's the pictures matched up as well there. How about that? Excellent. Okay, so Alex takes Alex takes Martin under his wing a bit. He sees as a protege. Okay, good stuff.
Smart kids. You're the geek, and now we're going to lead to a whole other.
We got a discussion about geek and nerds here, didn't we?
A whole other
who's a geek? Who's a
discussion. The difference between geek and nerd. Now, I always figured that geeks are people that
bit to be more of a rocker. I do like the rocker more than the other archetypes. But yeah, we'll see. I wouldn't mind. I'd be the guitar tech.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I think Roone and Caro would be in the same class together because she's also 12.
Okay.
Yeah. That will make sense.
Okay, Roone and Caro in the same class. We did discuss about that difference between the age year, so in the same class as Roone at school. Same class as Caro. Again, muscle memory kicking in, pressing Control S to save everything when it's not necessary. Yeah. So, if your birthdays, for those of you at the point of the adventure starting and at the end of it, some of the other ones could just be that you're neighbours with somebody who's that, who gets you into that group, and that's how you fell into with each other. It could also be that you're not you're all relatively new to the area. I don't know. So the next thing that you have to do is have a quick think, and please do write this in your bios in the sheet, is 2 relationships to NPCs. So non-player characters. Have we done this? Do we have 2 NPCs? Yes. Excellent. So we've got some relationships. Oh, there's actually a space for... look, there's actually a space in the sheet to add in, like, player character. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. You can actually pick either a PC or an NPC on the sheet. That's nice, isn't it? So in theory, some of the notes that I've written there, you could actually put into there. Well, that's cool. We'll bear that in mind. That's a nice way to keep track of all the relationships that you have. So maybe that's something that I'll bring up on Saturday, just if I remember. Likely won't. But yeah, adding in extra details of the relationships. That's cool. Okay. Roll20 won't let me delete it now. Here we go. I hadn't entered anything in. Right. Alright, okay. Interesting. So Roon, Alex, yep, Brett, Principal, okay. Hostile with one of the ants. Crush on a boy in class and Carol's dad. Okay. Excellent. Martin, we can add in those ones. So that needs to be a couple from someone. We'll go Mr. Boyd, science teacher. There we go, that's one. So it has been mentioned. Let me drag that into here. NPC, that's one anyway. Yeah, that works. So get some old pirate to add in another NPC. It may well have come up in conversation. I'll just take a note of that just now. Yeah. Let me just go into darkness just for a minute. That's okay, that's fine. It pops up there. That's all right. Bring that back up. There we go. Yes. Thanks, Ange, for the shout out. Right, so if I go to in Discord, if you haven't already joined IMT Discord, please do. And we have a whole host of stuff happening about Infinite Monkey Tales and about tabletop role-playing games. We have so many games. We have played so many games. And it is amazing. And there's loads of stuff that you can get into if you haven't already joined us there. Please do. Cheers, Ange. Some old pirate. Do you have a second NPC to add to Martin's sheet? Also note that you can all add any relationships with any PCs or NPCs here for your. Cool. Right. So that's one more for Martin, and then for Jamie, we've got a couple. That's great. Excellent. Rocker Boy. Oh, I wonder if it's the same person. That'd be interesting. I wonder if it's the same person that Carol has a crush on. That would be fun. Corner store owner. Okay. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, you've got Roon in there. And you've got Alex in there as well. Okay, cool. Nice one. Fellow. Ah, okay, got you. Fair play. Yeah, my experience at school is that all the girls that I fancied had crushes on older guys. So, yeah, there you go. Not bitter about it at all, understandably. We always used to complain about it continually. But anyway, there you go. Right. Now, Back to the video. That we can connect to the location, and this sort of the mystery landscape that that I've proposed. These NPCs are meant to be a connection between the kids, your kids, and the strange things that will start happening. That's the idea. And these relationships also help you to set scenes from everyday life. So we haven't quite touched on what exactly a scene is yet, but I think everybody's getting the idea, if not if they don't already have it. There's going to be some time where it's just your character, hopefully together with others, or that somebody wants to knock you down a particular part of food and then walks out again by them. You're out to get
Marty,
revenge.
how could you?
You're out to get revenge on somebody.
Same age difference.
You had relationship with somebody. You maybe fancy somebody. Maybe you'd like to have a relationship with them. So those are all of those, and about who they might be. And again, if you decide that you want to change them afterwards, don't worry about it. We'll definitely be able to do that. So if there's anything that you can come up with there, please do write it into your bio on the sheet so I can take a look at that as well. Notes, rather, sorry. They're called notes here. Yeah, cool. Yeah, so has anybody got...
I was walking my son to school today, and there was somebody in front of me. I think he was going to high school, and the same thing, the waft, the unavoidable waft as I was walking behind him. Yeah, it's still a thing. It's still definitely a thing. Yeah. Let's see where we go with the questions. So this point, I think, is where I started firing off the questions at the players relatively rapidly. So I think that gives me enough to crack on there. So we should get through this bit relatively fast now.
Got any questions? Anybody got any thoughts? Anybody...
Just had to have a bit of a thing.
Yeah.
Oh man, one of the relations.
Wow.
Anyway.
That's disturbing. It is disturbing.
Yeah.
I glossed over that one.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Anyone have a crush on their teacher?
Yeah, everyone, the same teacher. That
I think, is it? I'm not sure.
I feel
It's
like
been a
that's
while,
more
Bong.
disturbing than the virginity one, to be honest.
Having a crush on your teacher.
Well, the potential for
it
the
seems to happen often enough.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it happens often enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess. And
So even if it's rough it in. If you want to go back, change it, or add more details, then you totally can. But try and get something down there. Even just a couple of made-up names would be enough to get you started. Just so there's something in there. There is one more of an NPC that you need to come up with, and this one is probably easier, because you've already mentioned these kind of things. It's an anchor. This is somebody who you can go to for support, comfort, and care.
Okay, anchors. Let's just double check everybody's got their anchors in. Bandit work. No, Russ, really? I mean, yeah. So we need it's two NPCs plus one anchor. 2 NPCs plus one anchor is what's required. That's the opposite that the adverts tell you, anyway. Excellent. Right. So, where do we have anchor? Is it written anywhere? That's not really... No, that's not what I wanted to do. Hang on, let me remove that. There's somewhere that anchors can be written in this sheet.
Yeah, I think it just has to go into relationships. Age, name, short of money, pride, description, favorite song, anchor. It's there. It's there. I couldn't see it for looking at it. It was right in front of me. And there is the adverts all did stem around animal attraction, I suppose. Right. So there's the anchor there, the granny. The font size on this isn't really very helpful, is it? Okay, there's a granny that looks after Roone. Okay, grand. Alex, Dr. McTavish, the neighbour, retired scientist. So that explained the scene that we had where he was tinkering. Anchor's just dad for Carol. Excellent. Mr. Boyd. Anchor, dad's housekeeper. Katrina McNiven. Okay, cool. So these characters can be fleshed out in scenes, and then another father anchor. Okay, cool. That's the opposite. That's the opposite effect that the makers of links would have you believe. Okay, so that's anchors are all done, and we think about how to bring them into the game if we haven't already. I remember the days of getting links and spraying it in the changing rooms.
It could be a friend, it could be a parent, it could be a teacher, a neighbour. It cannot be another kid. It cannot be one of... But it can be children. It just can't try to help you with conditions. If you spend a scene with your anchor, you can not ever be in a situation to outright...
So it's up to the players to pick their scenes with their anchors, and then I would take the part of their anchor. What is the vehicle in that pick? Bong in the in the YouTube background. That one there. The big robot, the bipedal robot, like an AT-AT type thing. Lloyd put a Scottish flag on it. Oh, the other one. Hang on. Oh wait a minute! I better be careful not lose my space.
One of the things that you can do about it is speak with. I have mentioned, and for those at home, I have mentioned in Discord as well, that there is experience points in this game. Favorite song, guys? Mentioned. Roone mentioned.
Okay.
No, no, it wasn't. It wasn't Roone. It was Jamie. Jamie Bello. You mentioned Jamie's favorite song. Who are they? What's the band?
Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. Bad Reputation is the song.
Ah, right.
Classic.
Anybody else with their favorite song?
I had an idea for one.
I had quite a lot of fun with that.
Yeah. I'm trying to know a lot of Phil Collins.
You should know. It kind of... I think it's going to be one of those things...
Let's just double check that all the favourite songs are in there. Take On Me, Aha, Under Pressure, Ding 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 Ding. Some Madonna song, we didn't know which one. Against All Odds, Phil Collins. That's what we were just talking about there, and Bad Reputation. Excellent. Oh, that one. Sorry, right, got you. So yeah, that picture is just one of the many strange things that litter the landscape around the area. They're just there. They just sit in fields. That is a magnetronic device of some description. It could be anything. The artist. These are some of the artist's original drawings. that have been used for the Tales from the Loop TTRPG, I think. Very reminiscent of the style, if it isn't. And yeah, these are just the kind of things that were imagined. But you see those little discs at the front there. Those are run right down the side, and those are what bounce off the Earth's magnetic field and allow the vehicles to hover. Brain goes blank. Yeah, you chose Madonna, didn't you? But you didn't actually give me a favourite song from Madonna, so there you go. Have a think about that. So that could be anything. It could be an inspection vehicle. It could be a taxi. It could be a plough. Well, I don't think it actually is a plough because it looks like it hovers entirely when it's up and running. It could be some sort of electrical courier. It could be some sort of automated courier thing. I don't know. So that's the thing about these pictures of the artist. They leave you to your imagination as to what they are, and I don't know that they're ever described fully. But I think, given the proximity in this image to the power poles, it might be something related to that, especially with these two kind of tram-like aerials on the back. It's maybe something that maybe it runs the power lines and checks power lines, or maybe it spools out power lines or something. Don't know. Sheep reason. Yeah, from our first mystery. Excellent. So we've got all the songs in. That's good news.
It's his favourite song, but it's difficult for him to listen to because it's describing his situation with his mum at the moment.
Well, there we go. That's a little nugget. Arden's favourite song describes the situation with his mum at the moment, against all odds. I can't play that on stream, but if anybody wants to link it and you can watch it. I know Phil Collins, but he's got a very distinctive voice and very distinctive style. I just can't remember that song. I'm sure I would know it when I heard it. But that's cool. That might be fun. That might be fun to play with. Ammunition, as Bong said. What a voice. That's just the 80s right there, isn't it? I'll listen to it.
I'm so tempted to go with Rick Astley.
I think you cannot, because I think that song was released in
Under Pressure by Queen and David Bowie. Yeah, depends when in the 80s we are.
Yeah, I mean,
we're in 86, so you're okay.
Oh, okay, I'm okay with mine. Right, okay, I'm at 84.
But I
Under
think
Pressure was 1981, so that's fine.
Yeah,
there you go. Excellent. We could do that. Yeah, go on. We could do that.
Oh, Sledgehammer, that's a good joke. Oh, Sledgehammer.
Karma Chameleon by Culture Club. Excellent. That's a brilliant song.
It is a brilliant song. I kind of like
a great video as well.
It's
Sort of
very
shines
good.
on TV as well.
Required for that one. I don't think anybody can hit that normally, but there you go.
Yeah.
Cool. Right. Is that just Russ? Is that right?
Yeah, probably.
What disturbs you most? That's an Aussie
It's when you
band.
want.
I
Remember
just
that
sent
safety dance?
I love the Madonna.
It's amazing, isn't it? You type in that and you get
a bunch of them that probably seem a little bit weird for a 12-year-old, so I've sort of been...
I heard my niece singing a song that I didn't know that she would know, and it was from the 80s, and she was singing it while we were playing, all together, the whole family, my father-in-law, my wife, my son, my sister-in-law, my niece and my other nephew. And she was singing an 80s song. It was like, why do we sleep when the birds are burning? That one. And I was just like, how do you know that song? And her dad had been playing it, I think, or she'd heard it on a movie or something. But the 80s resonate even these days. So we're looking at Carol's generic music taste. Okay. Likes to listen to Radio 1. Listens to pop music on radio. Likes whatever is currently in the charts. Yeah, something like that, isn't it? And I was a bit surprised. How do you know that song? I said, I was surprised to hear her singing it. Anyway, so yeah, 80s stellar song. Crazy for You, a bit of a romantic.
What's Cindy Lauper?
1987 January, more or less worked out. And the only other thing that you all now need to think about is a hideout. Yeah. So for the hideout, we decided on a building in the centre of town, which is an old, abandoned, disused, no longer in service fire station, which is kind of cool. I like that, so we went with that. That was a good thing to have. But there is one more section. I think I forgot about it. There are wooded areas within the town. How about and I'll give you this because it is part of the setting, an abandoned.
If it doesn't have a pole, I'm going.
Old fire station along the town. Probably an old folks' home or something, but who knows, where the main shopping is done. It's also near the health locally as a garage. So there are a number of old tools.
Great.
Cool. Yeah. I'm sold, yeah.
You can get there, and you can heal any conditions that you pick up, which you can do. Then you don't necessarily heal, but if any of your
I feel like
your parents
Roone would have found it.
Yeah, it's kind of
always like
possible. Yeah, cool. All right then. So we're just about there. We're just about done with the full creation of this. Before we start the game, I have a number of questions for you. Here we go. This is what we're looking for. And I would like you to answer them as honestly as you can from the perspective of your kids. I'm going to give you.
Ominous, doesn't it?
I'm going to give you a question each, and
okay.
I'd like you to have a think about that. And if you want to just have a think, I'll go into the next person. So I'm going to start. I'm just going to work my way up the monitor. So Mark in the bottom left corner for me. I am going to ask you. In what way has your problem gone from bad to worse lately?
Ooh.
You can see the brain cells.
I'm thinking maybe it's affected his in some way.
Well, that's cool, Ross. Affected his what, sorry?
And maybe it's affected his dad in some way. And his dad's maybe become more distant because of it. Or is that because we kind of is that fair? Because I mean that's kind of the point of the game anyway, right?
Yeah, well, he's become more.
So maybe that doesn't work. I don't know.
So, but what specifically? Yeah, what specifically? Is it look like it's not going to get any better? Like it looks like it's on a trajectory. It's not just like a one-off. It's actually a real feeling. I don't know. Is that?
I think so. And I think Martin's probably quite keen to impress his dad. His dad has become more absorbed in his work.
Okay.
And has less time for Martin than he ever did before.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, something like that. Is that right?
Yeah. That's. So Martin's dad has become increasingly distant over the more recent time. has become and is still, or increasingly and is becoming, increasingly distant from Martin as parental duties are put aside for work. But perhaps it's more than that, question mark, because we don't know. Interesting. Yeah, that's cool, Russ, that thing about the song. Good song too. Okay. KKK.
That's fine. That's totally fine. Velo.
Same question.
No. What? What do you dream about at night?
Ooh.
Well, what does Jamie dream about at night?
I might have to think about that.
Okay, come back to you. Lloyd. What's your experience with robots?
Nothing major. Like just more maybe like toys and like just maybe like small things that his parents would have brought home from work to think around out of hours.
Yeah, his parents have brought things back home from work. This is potentially interesting from a storytelling perspective. Alex doesn't have huge amounts of experience with robots, but his parents have brought things back. Yeah, I could see all sorts of ways to twist that. But there's more things back from work, which he has had some exposure with and been allowed to tinker with on occasion. Yeah, any spelling here, just ignore it. Or tell me about it, because I like to be able to spell properly. And the only way I get that is by people criticizing my spelling, which has happened to me for a long time. So my spelling shouldn't be that bad, but I still get it wrong sometimes. Right. That is interesting.
Whereas well, the anchor actor is actually his neighbor who's like a retired sort of crackpot scientist. They probably be tinkering with stuff in his backyard. It's someone like
his
Mr. Wilson
neighbor.
from Home Improvement and Doc Brown from Back to the Future.
I like it, Bong. Right. So neighbor, I think we've already mentioned the neighbor. We did have a scene with a neighbor. Is also a hoarder and a tinkerer with time because he's retired. Okay. I just want to save that. Did I save? Good. Okay. I'm jumping about a bit here. This is just between kind of rapid fire questions that have happened at this point.
God. Okay. I'll never see his face.
Yeah, exactly. It's his eyes and above.
Russ, what does Carol think about sports?
I think she probably would just consider it too dirty and not really something that she's super interested in. She's maybe crashing on like a rugby player or something, but like not something she'd play herself.
Okay. Okay. Carol doesn't like sports. Thinks they are all too dirty, but her crush could well be one of the local rugby players. Yeah, rugby's a big feature of this part of Scotland. It's all about rugby. There's very little soccer, football, so it's all about rugby, and hockey as well for times when they want to have a break from rugby. Basically, it didn't even. It's true. That's actually true as well. I think we probably played as much football as a school as we did hockey, because everything was always rugby.
Yeah. Okay. Funny. What is the furthest that Roone has travelled away from what is now your hometown?
That's a great question for that character.
That's a good
isn't it?
question.
Isn't it?
Oh, I like to think that he might have snuck on a bus and just taken it as far as he could get, but I don't know how far he would have got with that until he either got in trouble or decided that he needed to get home because there wasn't anything on the end of this route.
Yeah, so the bus station is in the centre of town. It's near the main road, and it will go to either local areas or it will take you up to the cities. There is also occasionally a bus that goes down the loop road and then onto the English border, and it will pass through the border with England, and into the forests over there. So you can cut locally to other small towns, or you could go up to the city of Edinburgh, and then you've got all the options up there. So, but how brave would
He might have gone over to the other cities, but I don't think he would have crossed the border. That's too far.
Yay. Yeah, so Roone is probably the most world-travelled of all these guys. Yeah, the sport at a local level has really tried to clean up its act. Whether it succeeded or not, I'm not sure yet. But the local level rugby has really gone through a change since I was involved in it, and you too, Bong. One of the reasons why I stopped playing rugby was because of the attitude of some of the people. It really was. It was bad. It really was bad. It was a bad culture. It was full of bullying and all manner of just ignorance at the time. It's a shame because a lot of people are good at rugby that would otherwise have gone on to play it and enjoy it for the rest of their lives. But yeah, I think the rugby scene now locally is a lot more tolerant, understanding, and doesn't stand for those kind of things as society generally is. Yeah, I'm quite happy. I was quite happy at sports, but I just the people. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Sorry, we were looking at Roone, and we were looking at how far away Roone had gone. Roone has travelled to Edinburgh by himself on the bus. Has sometimes jumped on a local bus and tried to get free rides to other towns. Cool. Go. Yeah, so just coming to the end of this now, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, would he have? Sorry, I'm asking questions here.
Yeah.
Would he have just kept going, or did somebody discover him and send him back? How far would he actually be willing to go? You say that he wouldn't dare go across the border.
Yeah, I don't think he would have left because of his friend group. Those people are like the people that he keeps him there, but him taking a bus to the city or another town just to get away from home or go exploring,
You can do that in a day. You could get up to Edinburgh, do some skateboarding, and come back down again, no problem at all in a day. So that's cool.
Yeah. Days worth of traveling is probably the furthest he would do.
Yeah. Actually, cool. speaking from experience and talking about sports, yeah, skateboarding definitely makes you travel. That's like skateboarding. Skateboarding was one of the draws of traveling just to skate new spots. So it's possible that he did some of these trips with these friends that are skaters. Some of trips would have been with other skaters, possibly. I mean, that's not guaranteed. That's just me thinking about the situation and about scenes there.
Right. So another question for each of you, and I'll start with Bunny this time. What does your room look like?
Oh, I will imagine we live in quite a poorly kept house, so there might not be much of anything on the walls. Pretty rundown beds, probably a desk, but you know, filled with holes and scratch marks and pen marks and whatnot. Probably boxes of stuff everywhere. Really, not
Okay.
very untidy. Probably looks a bit dirty. Yeah. Curtains are questionable.
Camera's got my focus on that one. So, Roone's house, relatively shabby, I guess. Generally not well kept and messy inside. Not in a wealthy area of town. I can picture these kind of places in my head because they exist, right, in real life. So these questions are great. It's such a nice way to get people to think about their characters.
Yep.
Oh, okay, cool. Bunny, did you have a think about? Sorry, let me try it again. Russ,
Yeah.
what is Carol's favorite food?
Strawberry milkshake.
Cool.
I think you wrote that on your. Sheet, didn't you? I'm pretty sure that's strawberry milkshake's favorite food. It tastes funny in Scotland. Excellent.
Is there one particular place that always make it just right, or is it just a thing in general that strawberry milkshakes are always cool?
I think she really likes them, but she's probably really missing this one strawberry milkshake place that she used to like go to back in Melbourne, and like now she's in Scotland, and is homesick for
Okay.
that kind of experience, I guess.
Cool. There are a couple of likely places that you get that from. One is the Brown Sugar, which is a cafe, and the other one is the Hot Pot, which is a relatively dingy place that has arcade machines at the back. And you can, yeah, so there. So there's possible milkshakes there. Yep, cool.
Yay.
Okay, Lloyd.
Do it, Russ.
Yeah.
What does Alex think about school?
I think he kind of likes being able to like mix with normal people, I guess. Because that's like kind of that kind of thing where like his parents and everyone around him is kind of very sort of focused around those sort of like scientific like just science in general. That
Alex likes school because he can hang around normal people. Interesting. Okay. You can make it the night before and stick it in the fridge. It was tight. Yeah, that'd taste alright, wouldn't it? Keep it in the fridge. Somebody might slurp it while you're there. But yeah, blenders at 6 a.m. No, you wouldn't be popular. Okay, so YouTube.
You like it's kind of like a bit of like some cases like a bit of a breath of fresh air, being able to hang out with like normal people.
Yeah. Okay.
And Marty.
Cool. Vel, did you have a think about the dream thing?
Yes.
For Jamie?
So I think Jamie's dreams would be a mix of good and bad dreams. I think the good dreams would be becoming a rock star and going on tour. And bad dreams would be mixed feelings with like not being able to protect her sister, but desperately wanting to.
Dreams. Okay. Dreams are good and bad. Good dreams involve going on tour, being famous, being on stage. Bad dreams are being unable to protect. Sure. From what? Interesting. If it's a dream, it could be anything. Yeah, fair enough, Russ. Fair enough. It's 1 o'clock already. Wow. My goodness. Okay, just about done. Okay. Yeah, so a bit of anxiety coming through there, perhaps. All right. Okay. A bit of anxiety.
The
yeah,
last
that makes
thing
sense.
of all that I forgot about, but it's there. I'll do it now. Quick fire questions for the group. Who in the group has the most to say?
Caro.
Probably Caro.
Ooh.
Silence.
Yeah, no,
Caro
First
and
person to
Alex.
talk up actually wins.
I think it was Russ. It was Russ.
I mean,
Russ wins.
Yay!
I mean, I have to be somewhat talkative to be a smart aleck,
Yes.
but I
That's
don't
a
mind
good
being
point.
not the most talkative person.
I
Okay.
feel like Caro would be always trying to like find out stuff and gossiping with people and just kind of be fairly bubbly. So
Oh no, Russ.
maybe that's her.
When did you get to know each other? Like, how long? I guess that's kind of like how long have you known each other for? That's dependent on how long you've been at the loop for, isn't it?
I say like maybe we could make it simple by being like the start of the school year, so like 5 or 6 months, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or,
Well, I mean,
or the
I
year
guess
before
well,
that,
wait, it
maybe?
depends because it's the yeah, because I forget the UK schools are the
Yeah,
fifth grade, like 6 months.
July, August. Yeah. So yeah, it could be so like a year and a
Like
half
9
or
months.
something. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, does it fit in? Like,
We're in
does
June.
anybody?
So I've got a bit of thinking to do because everybody's arrived at different times. I need to draw a little timeline up just to show when people have arrived. Just sketch it based on what we've learned today. I'm not going to do that just now because I want lunch. But it looks like the group formed with the after school club, people kind of introduced to each other, and then they've become friends, realizing that either through each other, through their friend who's kind of overlaps, it's kind of normal. Like, then they've built up this kind of gang, and despite all their differences, then they seem to have got on well together. And perhaps because they're not locals, maybe that's the ultimate thing. They've all got different experiences that they can share about coming into town and finding it strange. But some of them have been in the town longer than I had originally anticipated. So, I mean, I guess it's possible that parents could travel without their kids, and maybe there was a bit of that as well. That's also a possibility for those that have had parents over here for a while. Maybe they were left with their grandmothers or something over in their home country. So that could be interesting. But bonding has been outsiders, yeah. Yeah, I think so. That's cool.
Yeah, very, very end of June, but on the 1st of July. So you've broken up for school, and you are on your first day of summer holidays. together, hanging out.
Back for a hideout.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Okay, so somewhere, so you all agreed it's under a year.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
What makes you laugh? What makes you laugh together?
These questions were tricky.
Yeah.
I don't know, what was comedy like?
One.
The slapstick a thing?
Yeah, the thing about comedy, you have to keep it funny.
Maybe we laugh. We'll laugh at it in an ironic way.
Actually, no, I think there'd be a lot of things in there that would shock a few people today and think, how the hell did they get away with that?
Yeah, maybe
There'd
that's,
be a lot of that.
so maybe you laugh at things on telly. You share some television, share cartoons and
Yeah,
telly.
so
and,
the sort of
and-
silly, like, was Airplane in the 80s or 90s? I don't know.
It
It's
was
kind of
80s,
like
yeah,
over the
it was.
top comedies, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll go with that just now.
Okay.
Does your group hold any secrets between you that you've actually?
I think I've written this down somewhere actually. I heard keyboards clicking there. I must have written it down already, but
You've got between you that are just like things that you've done or things that you do. I mean, obviously the hideout's a secret because that's. But have you got anything of that kind of ilk? Have you had any previous with each other doing things and notable experiences?
I can imagine that Roone has definitely been out and got something to tinker with, or like make something in the fire station. I don't know what, but
Okay.
Yeah.
I think
So you
that
share
could be-
You have a secret. You have a secret object.
okay, they've got
Yeah.
a secret
Yeah.
object. I definitely was writing this down. Oops, I've already taken notes on this bit and I've forgotten them. Where did I write it? It wasn't Roll20. Must have been a Word document. Oh, that was sensible. Okay. So Roon uncovered the group's secret object, but we don't know what it is yet. Well, that's good because immediately now we've got a MacGuffin, but we can do something with that. That'll be interesting. Which has been tinkered with, but so far it's not known. There's definitely an episode. There is definitely an episode there. That's 100% an episode. The group's secret object. That's brilliant. At least have them somewhere. Yes. I mean, it doesn't do any harm to do it again. They'll stick in the memory that time, so that's cool. I should have done them in Roll20 actually. I wonder if I did. Character list. No, I don't see it. Prompt. Oh, got off. Mysteries. Didn't see that. You didn't see that. We're not doing that one anyway. That was going to be this week's one. I was going to do something around the Cold War, but it's just not appropriate for this week, so I've changed it and we're doing something different. That's in the forest. That's in one of the many forests that exist around the town. I'm going to stick that on everybody's sheet, I think, because that's important. To bring up. Just as a reminder for everybody that you have this thing. But that's definitely going to be... Oops. That's definitely going to be... we're going to explore what that is. I think there's tons of things it could be because we're in the loop and these things just are never normal. So we can have an investigation as to what that is. That's cool. The words are a blur. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, basically I had an idea for a mystery. It was based around the Cold War, but given the nature of the Cold War and current events in Ukraine, I didn't think it would be appropriate to explore that particular story. So yeah, we'll do something else similar but different at some point. We've only got 4 more mysteries. Each one's going to be a one shot. Yeah. So we've got 4 mysteries, and we've already got 2. So we've got space for 2 more, and I've already got an idea for 1. So I've only got 1 more mystery, which will be the last one to do. So yeah. So yeah, that's cool, right? I think that's us.
Could be like with my what my cousins used to do, where they'd take stuff they left over construction sites, like the old work lights and stuff, and then sort of like figure out, like investigate them and figure out how to like repair them and stuff.
Yeah, stuff like that. Just random things. It doesn't have to be important yet.
I like to find treasures in alleyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent.
Treasures.
Okay. See, we'll think about that one. But yeah, it's cool that you've got something there. Is there anybody who doesn't hang about with you that you kind of know wants to, but you kind of don't let them in? Is there anybody like that? Is there somebody you can think about that one? It doesn't have to be any.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for Lloyd. Yes, I was waiting for that.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't want to leave you hanging. So.
Low hanging fruit. Well done.
Does anyone?
I mean, you're already hanging with us, so it couldn't be you.
I don't know.
anyone-
I don't know.
Other geeky kids, maybe.
I don't think Kara would want a younger sister hanging around.
I was wondering
Yeah.
about Jamie's younger sibling. Maybe. I mean, I don't know how much younger.
The two young kids.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
might have like something like that kind of whole setup where like I don't know, one of the popular kids is suspicious. Try to figure out what we're up to, or some other kid is, I guess. The secret hideout.
Yeah, it wouldn't be one
Gets
of the
the
popular
most-
kids.
Do any of you get the most mocking? Is there any is there kind of like one?
Okay. There's a couple of ideas there. A couple of ideas were that there's a popular kid who is a bit suspicious about what the group is up to, and this is kind of relevant to hanging out. But again, the game provides armor for the hangouts. Nothing bad ever happens in the hangout, unless it's between the players and they set that scene up. And then the younger siblings want to hang out with the group, but are not allowed. So there's issues there. Let me stick that again. I should have just done all these at once, shouldn't I? That would have been easier. Okay, right. I think that was the last. Maybe it wasn't the last question. Maybe there's still more, but I'm getting hungry. So that's given everybody a load more notes, and it's given us another. It's given us an episode. It's given us a mystery. The mystery is, what the hell is this thing that they found in the alleyway when they were doing the Borders equivalent of dumpster diving? There's so many places that these things can appear. More tea for Bong. Yeah, I think I've had enough coffee today. But right, we're just about done. I'm sure of it. I said that last time.
For the group that is the butt of more jokes than.
Going for it, Lloyd.
I have no idea. I have no comment. I have no comment I would wish to say at this time.
Poor Murray.
And in a similar aim,
If they wish to volunteer themselves.
Does anybody guide the activity of the group more so than others? Is there one individual who comes up with ideas and kind of suggests what is going to be done? Do they take that sort of leadership role? Is there anyone that's got that sort of gumption that can cajole or otherwise?
I kind of feel like we kind of, because we all have these like very like specific interests. So I think of like Jamie found something cool in like one of her like alleyway explorations or whatever. Then they would like be like, "Oh guys, come let's look at this," or like
Yeah.
Or if Roone finds something cool that while they're tinkering or whatever, then they would like drive that rather than having like a single leader.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the other thing I suppose is if Roone's a troublemaker, are we kind of afraid, a little bit scared of Roone? So maybe we're maybe inclined to follow what Roone says because.
I mean, I'm up for it.
Well, I
don't know
kind
how
of
you feel
look
about
at him as obviously that will have to be up to each kid, but I feel
Mhm.
like Roone will never go out of his way to get into trouble on purpose. The trouble is
Oh,
usually
okay.
because he is very defensive of his friends and want to make sure that the group is secure and stuff. And
That's cool. Yeah, so Roone doesn't go out way. Very defensive of his friends, who look up to him. I mean, I guess that kind of note can go into. I'll change that for these guys, but this is a wee prompt in there for the others. That although Roon isn't quite necessarily the leader, he does command a bit of respect, because he is quite fierce in his defense at times, and can be a bit of a playmaker for the group. That's maybe partly because he's the most physical, I guess, and you have the other ones are maybe a bit in awe of that. Cool.
And will out himself to keep others away.
Oh, he's the kind of guy that would take the rap for something for one of the gang. Is that the?
Yeah.
Because people expect it of him, so he'll just put himself out with me. And...
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
Okay. Nice. All right. Okay. So yeah.
Other than that, I mean, there's always, there is always Alex as well. Alex, he's the gift. He's got the gift of the gab, right? So.
Yeah.
One would hope.
It kind of suggests that maybe he talks everybody into doing stuff as well. Maybe.
Yeah.
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 He might
I don't want to get Roone into trouble.
Yeah, talks everybody into doing stuff because he knows that Roone will take the rap for it.
Okay. Okay, getting complicated here. It's good. I like it. We'll take the rap when the group get in trouble. Expected of them. Alex. Alex can sometimes get the group into trouble, knowing that Roon will take the rap. Yeah, Alex's gift of the gab can get him into trouble. That's cool. Right.
I think Caro's wanting to know everything about everybody would probably get her into a fair bit of trouble too.
Yeah.
Would she? Do you think she's a leader type?
Nosy.
Probably not, but I think she'd just sort of be like, yeah, I don't know. I don't necessarily think she'd be the leader. I think she'd probably be more the butt of all the jokes because she's a little bit prissy, I guess.
Yeah, Caro is nosy. Likes to make everyone's business her business. And can stir up trouble. Doing so sometimes. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. We can definitely. That's a thing. Okay. We just written it once and then copied it. But we're doing it. We're doing it this way. Okay. Nice. All right then. How are we doing? I keep saying we're about done, then something else comes up.
Okay. Is there anything that your group is not talking about, like the elephant in the room?
There's actually an elephant living in the fire station.
There isn't.
Yes, that one.
I'm playing this at half
I
speed.
don't know, did everybody have
Again, on
parents
top of
or
what
like
we're
come
doing.
from a semi-wealthy
One
background?
half speed.
Well, I'm
That's why
kind
it's
of
going
wondering,
so
would it
fast.
be something to do with Marty's mother, who has vanished after going out to work one day?
That could definitely be it.
Yeah.
That could be a thing not to talk about.
And there are people that are kind of saying maybe she'd run off with somebody else, or I don't know.
It could maybe make the fire stations like a no adult zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't talk about them. We don't acknowledge them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of their parent problems are just like they're left at the door.
Yeah.
Feels
Yeah.
like a safe space.
Okay, last question. What do you like to do?
Same thing we like to do every night, Pinky.
Go and get chips.
Fish and chips.
Yeah,
With
like
baby
hanging out at the corner store for too long.
Yeah.
Deep fried
think-
Mars bar.
That'd
Oh.
be invented yet. That'd be
Are
invented.
they not? Wow, come on, surely not.
I
Really?
thought it was like 60s. I don't know. We could
Ooh.
invent the deep fried Mars bar. I mean, how
That's
hard
it.
can it be? Are we
Yeah,
waiting for the Mars bar to be
that's
invented first?
The deep fried anything.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I guess some kind of like project with all this stuff that I drag in or we drag in would be something to do on the fire station.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that would make sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
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 Yep. And also the kind of the other stuff, the activities that you have at school as well. I guess you mentioned the after school club, so there's some.
I wouldn't necessarily like doing that.
True.
That's kind
Well,
of that's forced
yeah.
upon.
Speaking of forcing things upon you, we're done.
No.
Oh,
Ah, sweet.
Um,
Time to go back to bed.
If there is anything else that we need to come up with and think about during the break between the end of tonight and the next in 2 weeks' time, then just give me a shout, and we'll change that.
Okay. Okay. What did we get out of that? You want the gang hut, the gang house, the hideaway. Is a safe space. Adults are not talked about, but Marty's mum is a taboo subject. That gives. Yeah, that's it, I think. That's cool. All right, then. Did you? Oh, wow, Russ. That's more than I've ever done. You found a place that did it. I can't eat Mars bars anyway, so that's why. Huh. Okay. There's a lot in there, isn't there, really? I mean, that just goes to show. That just goes to show how much the characters were fleshed out with those questions. And what a good way to create character backstories. Like if we did the equivalent in D&D, it would be quite interesting. Other games, you know, that's such a nice way to actually pull together some background of the characters. I like that. That's been well done. Right, we are done. Thank you everybody for hanging out and listening to ramblings of me on top of the discussions that we had on the IMT session 0. If you would like to go and see the mystery that they got themselves into, these kids, then you can do so on Twitch. The VODs are still available on the Infinite Monkey Tales channel. It starts just where this one takes off on the first day, so you'll see that about 2 hours into the VOD, you've seen all the session 0. You can jump into 2 hours. That's like the first hour of the mystery, and then we continue it again in the next week. And the next week we actually spend about 2.5, 3 hours on the mystery and finish up that adventure. On Saturday, we're going to be having another adventure. They are not really connected. Like, they are joined together by the fact that they're the same characters in the same area. There isn't an overlying theme, really. There's no grand conspiracy as such. I'm writing it just as standalone adventures. There should be one-shots as well. So that'll be interesting to see if we manage to even get to that point. I'm a bit more at ease with the one-shots in this game system, purely because we can skip time as much as we need to. We're doing quite a structure, scenes and scenes and scenes and scenes. So there can be time between scenes. We don't have to go into every bit of detail. We don't have to roll for everything. Stuff just happens. So I'm confident about that. Hey, Leo, how's it going? Yeah, just doing a wrap-up of the session 0 that we did for our Tales from the Loop game a couple of weeks ago. And I was just taking in some notes and having a look at the new characters that we've created, and just making sure that I'd captured enough notes from all of them. And yeah, it's good. We did it, and it's all there. There is more stuff that's happened in the adventures as well. But if you'd like to find out about that, the Tales from the Loop game is awesome. The way that it is designed, it kind of creates an almost picture boarding for a drama series on telly, in the way that you don't have to have a continuous narrative. Time skip is a factor. You only focus in on the interesting bits where the dialogue's happening, the characters' interactions, the actual adventure. There's a wee bit more leeway once the mystery that they're trying to solve ramps up. But it does lend itself very well to being able to hopefully get to the bottom of a mystery quite quickly. So we're going to be doing some more of that on Saturday, this Saturday coming, at 9 p.m. UTC. Our usual starting time, although clocks in the UK are going forward on the 27th of March, which is going to make slight changes to our schedule at the end of this month. If you haven't already, please do give us a follow on YouTube. Please jump into our Discord and check out all the stuff that's happening. We have got so many games going on right now. For the first time, an IMT day had 2 different games happening on the same day. Different groups, obviously, different GMs, and 2 different game systems. But we're growing and growing. So many excellent players, so many games, and so many more still to play. So if you haven't already, please join us. And I'll hopefully see you all on IMT in a few days.